Hello, crime fighters. I'm Ray, the DA, and this is Straight Talk. I'm here today with Amber Freeman. And Amber, I want to talk a little bit about sentencing.
Let's do it.
What's the purpose of sentencing, do you think?
You're talking about what kind of crime?
Well, let's say a violent crime.
Okay, which would be assault,
Armed robbery, murder, that sort of
the big
thing.
ones.
Yeah, it's and those are punished more severely than something like breaking into a car or a burglary, that sort of thing.
Okay.
The sentencing philosophy in Kentucky is to try to avoid incarceration. And the reason they do that is that they want to save money. Now, most citizens, when asked in these polls, these surveys, what's the most significant job of government? They're either going to say to guarantee our safety, the public safety, as either one or two on their list. And I don't think that we're running into that by our judges. In Lexington, for example, 53% of the felons that go through Fayette Circuit Court are probated.
And what does that mean exactly?
That means they're put right back on the street. And so the question is, how well are they supervised? Because they want to talk about supervision in the community. How well are they supervised? And I don't think that they pay the probation and parole officers sufficiently to be able to keep up with them. I think that they have to report to a probation officer once a month, and that's typically they're doing it by telephone now for 5 or 10 minutes.
What about, do they still wear the ankle bracelets, or what people, think that probation includes?
Well, when they put people on electronic monitoring, ankle bracelets, the question is, do they monitor them? Because it costs money to monitor these people. We got the capability of keeping them in an inclusion zone or excluding them from someplace. And if they violate that, then we know. But that costs money, and so that's not as prominent a practice as we'd like.
Well, Ray, let's back it up. When it actually comes to sentencing, who decides how long the criminal is going to be incarcerated? Is that the judge? Is that a deal made by the attorneys? Who decides that?
Everybody. For example, if I recommended a 10-year sentence for you, and you were sentenced to 10 years for a nonviolent crime, you'd be eligible for parole in 2 years. If you participate in programs in the prison system, then you can reduce that even more. So it's, but that gets away from public safety.
So how many of these people who should be in prison, in your opinion, are actually there? What is the percentage of time they're spending of their sentence compared to being let out on probation?
Well, that's too complicated a question, really, because you got people that are probated and never sent to prison. You got people that are sent and are paroled, and you got people that serve out. And I don't know that you can come up with an average. All I know is that I don't think our legislature is looking at it from the right angle. I think they ought to look at it from the safety of the public as opposed to the benefit of the criminals.
Okay. Well, this is obviously a very, very complicated matter. Do you have any solutions
to
this?
I think we ought to abolish parole like the federal government has and the state of Virginia have, and go from there.
All right. Well, there's obviously so many different routes that we could go, and I'm sure we'll explore this in more of our segments in the future, because it is something, as you said, people are concerned about.
Well, we'll see. See you later, crime fighters.
The opinions expressed in this segment are not necessarily those of the management and staff of ABC 36.